Albus Dumbledore subscribed to a simple, powerful belief that a loveless home was the ultimate crucible, forging a shield no dark magic could pierce. It was a fatal miscalculation. As he would learn, the greatest protection isn't an absence of love, but a family that finds death utterly delightful.
What if the hallowed doorstep Dumbledore chose wasn't number 4 Privet Drive? What if the headmaster's meticulously crafted plan began to unravel the very moment he turned his back? For 10 agonizing years, that question would haunt him, only for the answer to reveal a Harry Potter who hadn't merely survived, he had thrived on the macabre. This is the story of Dumbledore's greatest failure and most terrifying success, the story of a boy raised to be an Addams.
Dumbledore's plan was precise, rooted in ancient magic. He placed the child on the Dursleys' doorstep on the night of October 31st, 1981, utterly confident in his work. But that confidence was misplaced. Within minutes, his design came apart. A couple out for a romantic Halloween stroll, Gomez and Morticia Addams, were drawn to the ruined cottage. There, amongst the debris, they found the boy. Dumbledore's letter, a plea for protection, was read with theatrical scorn. To condemn a child to a life with such dreadfully normal people? Unconscionable. Morticia's words were a chilling vow. He has known sorrow, Gomez, the deepest kind. He is one of us. The decision was instant. The mundane name Harry was discarded for the far more fitting Hadrian Addams. Mischievously, the blood wards Dumbledore had so carefully constructed, the ones tethered to Petunia Dursley, never had a chance to form. A different, far stranger magic took root in their place. That night, the boy who lived simply vanished from the wizarding world. The 10 years that followed were a void of silence and gnawing doubt for Dumbledore. Every search for the boy ended in failure. He feared the worst, never once daring to imagine the truth. Hadrian's childhood wasn't spent in a cupboard. It was spent exploring the shadowed halls of a Gothic mansion. His scar wasn't a tragic reminder, but a delightfully twisted magical signature. An excitable Uncle Fester cheered when accidental magic caused indoor thunderstorms, and a doting grandmama taught a toddler the subtle but crucial differences between belladonna and wolfsbane. He had siblings, Wednesday and Pugsley, who treated his darkest impulses as a starting point. With Wednesday, he found a kindred spirit, composing morbid epitaphs and perfecting their dueling stances. Gomez began his fencing lessons in infancy. Morticia cultivated his morbid grace. Dumbledore had left a tragic orphan to be pitied. The Addamses are raising a confident, charmingly creepy, and utterly fearless boy who regarded his parents' murder as a beautifully tragic love story, a perfect romance culminating in a spectacular finale. The first hint of the boy's existence in a decade came on his 11th birthday. A veritable plague of owls assaulting a single, unplottable estate was the clue Dumbledore desperately needed. He dispatched Minerva McGonagall to deliver the letter personally, and her report was his first baffling glimpse into Hadrian's world. The family, she noted, was not annoyed by the chaotic avian assault. They were enchanted. The boy's mother, Morticia, had even mused aloud, "Do you think they have a proper torture chamber, my love? Or are we sending our dear Hadrian to a place with safety regulations?" McGonagall's account of their trip to Diagon Alley was even more unsettling. The family moved as a procession of elegant black, casting a pall that silenced the cheerful, bustling street. Her description of Hadrian's first meeting with Draco Malfoy was particularly disturbing. Faced with a pure-blood tirade, Hadrian showed neither anger nor fear. He simply regarded Draco with the detached, unnerving curiosity of a scientist studying a specimen he might soon dissect.
For the first time in his life, a Malfoy fled an encounter, thoroughly unnerved. This was not the boy Dumbledore had been expecting.
On September 1st, Dumbledore watched the doors of the Great Hall, his gaze fixed. When Addams Hadrian was called, a hush fell over the students. He leaned forward as the sorting hat was placed on the boy's head and went utterly still. For a full 4 minutes, it deliberated. It found Gryffindor courage, but it was the courage to laugh in the face of death. It found Hufflepuff loyalty, but a loyalty sworn only to his ghastly family. It found Ravenclaw wit, but a mind with a ravenous appetite for the darkest of arts. But overwhelmingly, it found ambition, cunning, and a profound sense of self. Slytherin, it bellowed. For the first time all evening, Dumbledore's grandfatherly smile faltered. He watched the boy take his seat at the Slytherin table, offering a slow, deliberate nod to a visibly surprised Severus Snape. Soon, Dumbledore was fielding reports from a deeply unsettled Snape about a first year who not only mastered potions, but showed a disturbing, pre-existing familiarity with poisons. That year only deepened Dumbledore's concerns. The Midnight Duel became a showcase of superior fencing. Fluffy was not a monster, but a magnificent pet. And when the boy stood before the Mirror of Arist, Dumbledore watched him gaze into its depths and show absolutely nothing. He desired nothing. A boy with no desires, Dumbledore realized, was infinitely more frightening than any Dark Lord. The opening of the Chamber of Secrets in Hadrian's second year was, for Dumbledore, a waking nightmare. Whispers that the strange Addams boy was the heir of Slytherin were rampant. Hadrian didn't deny them, he cultivated them, viewing fear as the highest form of compliment. When he revealed his ability to speak Parseltongue at the dueling club, there was no panic. He simply held a calm, polite conversation with the serpent, to the collective horror of the student body. When he followed the trail of spiders down into the chamber, Dumbledore could only wait, fearing the worst. But this wasn't a rescue mission, it was an expedition. Hadrian faced Tom Riddle's memory not with heroic defiance, but with academic fascination. The disembodied spirit of a homicidal maniac, he reportedly mused. How wonderfully Gothic. The battle that followed was not a clash of good versus evil. It was a collision between Riddle's petulant, hateful power and Hadrian's cold, precise, and deeply unsettling calm. A fury unleashed only because Riddle was an insult to the elegant finality of death itself. Dumbledore could only watch as Hadrian's macabre reputation solidified. The arrival of Dementors in his third year proved a profound test. Dumbledore was stunned to learn that while others collapsed in despair, Hadrian felt only a pleasant chill, a gentle reminder of the beautiful emptiness that awaits all life. He viewed the soul-sucking fiends as tragically misunderstood. The Triwizard Tournament was even more bizarre, with Gomez and Morticia cheering with morbid glee for each life-threatening task. When Hadrian's name emerged from the Goblet of Fire, the boy accepted it with an indifferent shrug, as if mortal peril was simply drawn to his particular charm. After the horrifying events in the graveyard, Dumbledore had to piece together Voldemort's return from a boy who spoke of it not with terror, but with aesthetic annoyance. The Dark Lord was a noisy, monologuing tyrant who gave evil a bad name. The final battle of Hogwarts was not led by a chosen one fighting for the light. It was a pandemonium of Addams-style chaos, defended by a lethal prodigy and his entire family, who had naturally arrived for the occasion. Dumbledore watched Hadrian fight not for the greater good, but with the focused rage of a homeowner protecting his property from unwelcome and dreadfully gauche intruders. This was the story of Hadrian Addams, not the boy who lived, but the boy who lived deliciously. Dumbledore was left to ponder for the rest of his days. Could he have ever truly trusted him? And how could he possibly have predicted that Voldemort's Horcruxes would be treated not as abominations of nature, but as delightful new family heirlooms? In the end, by leaving Harry Potter on that fateful doorstep, Albus Dumbledore did ensure Voldemort's defeat. He just never could have conceived of the shape that victory would take. He had hoped to create a hero, a shining beacon of light for the wizarding world. Instead, he gave them something far more interesting. He gave them an Addams, a creepy, kooky, mysterious, and spooky protector who proved to a stunned and bewildered headmaster that the most powerful magic of all isn't love, but a family that will happily, passionately, and expertly tango on the graves of their enemies.